Sir, you are about a dB above my noise level. I have a very, very, very faint copy on you, 1 dB above my noise level. I can hear you there, but I can't actually perceive the words. If maybe, well, gosh, if you had a little bit in the compressor, it might fatten the signal up just a little bit, but you know, maybe not. I'm not really sure. I don't have enough copy on you to really be able to hear your audio very clearly. Roger?
73.
Roger. Now, I did hear 73. Try this. Try coming up on mic, and let me hear the difference that makes. Try again coming up on mic. Roger? Roger, just Mother Nature is not cooperating at all. Mother Nature is not cooperating at all. I'm sorry. Maybe we can get together later on if she decides. if she straightens this band out and puts a little conditions in there, we'll be able to make it later on. But right now, I'm sorry, sir, you are in my noise level. We'll say 3s and try again. Roger.
Roger.
And this is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, KC9VKV, and we're just kind of adjusting our ALC. You know, proper ALC should be right towards the audio, right towards the middle of the mid-scale to 2/3. Mid-scale to 2/3 ALC usually works out pretty well. This is Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor. Station, come back.
Alpha Charlie 0 Zulu Zulu.
Alpha Charlie, and give me the rest.
Alpha Charlie 0 Zulu Zulu. AC03Z.
Roger. Them Zulus were going right over my head. Too fast on the phonetics, but I got you that time. Alpha 0, Alpha Charlie 0, Zulu Zulu, is that correct?
That is correct. Coming in here at 59 plus 10, over.
Roger that, and where are you, sir?
All right, his name is Lee, Lima Echo Echo, and I'm in the state of Missouri. I'm about 60 miles south of St. Louis.
60 miles south of St. Louis, was that a Roger?
That's a Roger.
And the name there was Lee?
Roger.
Roger Lee, this is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and the call is KC9VKV, and we are located just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. Roger?
Roger on that. I was just wondering, I'm also on a G5 RV, and right now it's set on about, 78 watts drive. I just wonder what kind of a reading I got there.
Looks to be about 10 over. Looks to be about 10 dB over my noise level. My receiver's not set up typically. I'm running a reduced RF in the front end to keep the receiver out of compression. We do a lot of recording. We have a Qso-Vlog program that we run on Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 5 on this frequency, and so we do go to great lengths to keep the receiver as clean as possible. Roger.
Roger, I just looking up there now. You want all the way up to 20 over.
Roger. Well, we try. We have a mantra that says we'll be a 20 over from Montreal to Miami and New York to New Mexico, and we verified the Montreal and Miami. We're still a little not capable of getting a good signal out of New Mexico yet, though, Roger.
Roger on that. What is you
Are you faded down? Try again.
consist of? What are you running?
The radio, well, let's see, let's start. The microphone is a homebrew condenser microphone into an ARC preamp, into a third octave equalizer, up to the tabletop where we have a 6-position rotary switch that we can decide which radio we want to run on. Right now we're on a Yaesu 990, older Yaesu 990, kind of highly modified. Both on the input and the output side, check 1 2 3 4. Like I say, we are just adjusting our ALC, and looks to be within tolerance there. And then we go to from the Yaesu 990 to the SV220, and then from there up to an inverted V. Roger, Roger.
Well, you're doing really a good job here. This right now, well, I've been wanting to flex. I finally didn't want to buy a new one, so I bought an old 3000. I'm just kind of playing with it, and kind of enjoying it. It's definitely different.
Roger, Roger. Well, you know, like this radio that I'm talking on is about 30 years old. So, you know, it's like my mama said, you don't have to drink or smoke to have a good time, Roger.
On that, yeah, well, my other radio over here is 991, and it kind of all of a sudden become my standby over.
It became a what? I missed just the last part of that last transmission.
Yeah, it's on my standby. In other words, it just sits there. Don't use it very much, over.
Oh, Roger, Roger. A standby radio?
Over.
Roger that, Roger that. Now, let me ask you if you've checked your ALC recently. You know, sometimes when you switch mics or something like that, you forget to go back and check your ALC to be sure that you're still running a mid-scale. And, you know, the thing to do is, obviously, that is your mic level control. Will be able to adjust that to put your ALC where it's reading mid-scale to 2/3 and transmit. Roger?
Roger that. Well, like that. We've got this quite real familiar with it. 46, if that tells you anything.
Oh, now you came up just a little bit. I don't know whether that was Mother Nature or what.
That must have been Mother Nature. I was trying to stay the same distance from the mic and talk to the same. Yeah, I said, the mic is set on 40. I know that. See, I just got a lot of fun. Whatever you make that.
Roger. Now, you know, it's what I do is and recommend is running your compressor at about a 3. If you have a 1 to 10 scale on your compressor, engage the compressor at about a 3, just very lightly on the compressor, but that will, even that 3 will start to really fatten your audio up immensely just at a 3 on the compressor, and that helps you to be able to set the ALC level because the audio is not jumping around quite as much when you have to adjust the ALC from mid-scale to 2/3. Roger?
Roger on that. All right, I just find the ALC right now, and that gauge is jumping up around, oh goodness, you know, but, it's jumping all over the place. Jumping from about a minus dB to less. I don't know what that means, and well, I just don't know what it means, over.
Roger. Well, you know, is that a meter or a light? Do you have a actual meter movement on that ALC?
Roger, it's an actual meter. It goes from most like a minus 20 all the way up to, I can't really read mine. It looks like maybe in a red is maybe a 3, over.
Roger. Now your audio's up for sure, so we can do this thing. You'll notice on that meter there is an ALC scale. In other words, that's a multimeter, but where it's marked ALC, you can see where it's, you know, the beginning and the end of the ALC level piece.
Okay, it's 4 BW.
And what you want to do is adjust your microphone level to where your ALC is running mid-scale to the ALC definition, is where it's marked ALC. You run mid-scale to 2/3 on that reading, and you'll be ideal. Roger, Roger.
Depends on how I modulate. How it reads. It looks like it goes all the way up to about 2/3 right now when I'm modulating it hard over.
Roger. Well, that's what's called a multimeter, so it reads a lot of things. But in the ALC position, that meter has a marking of the range for ALC. And so what you want to do is to adjust your microphone level to where that meter runs mid-scale to the ALC markings, or 2/3, either between the halfway and 2/3 on the markings for the ALC. Roger? Yeah, I wouldn't worry about the -10 or any of the numbers. Just look at the scale, and adjust your mic level for mid-scale operation on the ALC reading. Just mid-scale to 2/3. So don't worry about the numbers at all. Just bring your mic level up to where you're mid-scale in the ALC marking. Stand by just a moment. Contact, please.
Scale right there, and just kind of jumping around. You're holding in the middle there. I got the mic set on 44. Over.
Roger, Roger. Sounding good. We have a contact. Let me get your call sign real quick, sir. What's your call sign?
Call sign KX4VW. And that Flex radio does not set up like a normal radio. He doesn't have an ALC. I have a Flex radio. He does not have an ALC. He's got 4 or 5 different settings for that.
Is it that the Flex doesn't have an ALC, or that the ALC is called something else? I mean, you've got to have a ALC function, Roger. Gosh, I think we doubled. I understand that the Flex does not have an ALC reading. Is that correct?
It's not like the normal ALC settings on a regular radio. It's got 4 different settings you got to go in and adjust each one according to he's reading CD gain, he's reading the CD meter. You don't have a regular meter like you got on the radio. So there's several different things he's got to go in and adjust. And there's a link that he can go to that tells him how to go walk through each and every one of those steps to get that set. And once he gets that set, he can go in to EQ and adjust how he wants his audio to sound. But if you go in there and try it, look, explain to him how you just change the ALC like you're on a normal radio. He won't never get it nowhere. It'll probably make it worse.
All right, what would be a nominal setting then for a Flex? What would be the numbers for a nominal reading, a mid-scale reading of ALC on the Flex?
It's different. Each one don't work out the same. You got a mixer in there. The mixer's a slide bar. Mine is 1 notch under half scale. That's mic gain. All right, when you go to do the mic gain, there's one on the front of the radio, on the screen, and I'm sure he's using the same program to run his. I'm running mine, which is Power SDR. There's a place that says mic. I'm just a little under halfway on that, which I'm sure his voice is going to be carried different than mine. Then you got another one there. CPDR. I'm like 2 notches above that. Then you got the scale on DQ. You got to go in and adjust that. And you got to do those in a certain order according to different meters that come up on your radio, on the screen with a Flex. And you got to stay up under a -2.
We're getting the unabridged version of this.
You're going to the overdrive radio and on drive radio and everything else. It's not quite as easy just going and turning the knob and 3/4 on your ALC or half ALC on the meter. It's a lot different. I got both types of radios. There's a lot different setup. What you are now is very easy to do. So it's possible. You got to go through each step one at a time and have each one set where you're negative, no more than going the higher, no more than negative 2 dB gain on your meter. Like I said, there's a video online on YouTube that you can go to and set that thing up for them. Take them just about 5 hours. Trying to do it.
The 2-hour version. Appreciate it, sir. Obviously, it's beyond my capabilities. And AC0ZZ, you were sounding better there, sir. I didn't realize it was so complicated. It's beyond my capabilities to assist you, but I think you're close to wherever you were going, Roger.
Roger, I thought I heard him say that this doesn't have an ACL meter on, but I'm looking at one right now. It says ALC on it. Now, 2/3 of the way up is 0, and if you go to the left on the scale, it goes to -10 and -20, and the other way goes to 1, 2, and a 3 to the right, and I don't know what that means.
Roger, well, maybe he has a different version than you, sir. Having the ALC meter that you do have, I would just merely reiterate that, with your hand on your mic gain control, and you're running your compressor at 3 out of 10, that you would adjust the ALC to read between mid-scale and 2/3, between mid-scale and 2/3, and that will be, a very good reading level for you to be at, Roger.
Roger,
if you'll give me a call and you go on QRZ, I'll send you the link on how to set that, so you don't mess the audio up and you think it is. Don't really sound that bad here. If you go on that QRZ and give me your email, call, I'll send you that link. And if you got access to the internet, you can go to YouTube and walk right to setting up. Yes, it says ALC, but you also see an ALC compression. You see it.
Another half-hour version, I think.
See meter on it. What's your call? I'll send you that link if you want.
Sir, appreciate your assistance, and we'll say 3s to you, sir, and thanks for all your assistance.
You're screwing him up, bud. You had yourself a good day. Apparently you don't want to sound like he don't want to find out either. And then you waste my time. And I won't have been talking to you. Good day. Bye.
Roger, Roger. And Lee, let me hear you now, sir. AC0ZZ, are you still there? All right, I think we've had some Mother Nature reconditioning here of the frequency. I think we're in the middle of about a 30 dB hit, in the middle of about a 30 dB lack of Mother Nature's assistance here. Maybe it'll come up here in a second. Let me just hold it here, and I'll say, hey, Mother Nature, come on. We need some conditions here. Trying to get a hold of Lee. This is KC9VKV.
WHAVM.
Go ahead, station.
Hello, Mr. Jim. I just took a look at your QRZ Whiskey 8 Juliet Bravo Mike. Name is Jim here. I'll be sure to check out your YouTube channel. Sounds interesting. Armchair copy, sir, into the sticks of Michigan. You are 20 over 9. Go ahead.
Roger that, roger that. Well, good to hear you. And come back with the call sign one more time.
Yes, sir. Whiskey 8 Juliet Bravo Mike. Say again, Whiskey number 8 Juliet Bravo Mike.
Roger, Roger, and the name?
My name is Jim. That's how I was able to remember yours so well. Go ahead.
Thanks for reminding me. I forgot mine. Well, we're just kind of experimenting. We usually run our Qso-Vlog program Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 5 on this frequency, but we've installed some new monitoring stuff, an LED oh gosh, I don't know, about a 60 LED reading meter for our, we have a little set studio for the Qso-Vlog program, and we're trying to get some monitors in there. Last week we got the spectrum analyzer in the set, and today we're working on getting the LED meter in the set. It's a really tall thing. It's 60 not 60 inches, but 60 LEDs tall, I guess it is. Pretty long reading, and it looks pretty good. We had to use some neutral density filters on our spectrum analyzer to keep the lighting correct for the camera, and we may have to do that on our meter. Our light meter. It's pretty bright, but it's a real pain to try to get those density filters in there and over the meters without glaring because of the studio lighting. Roger?
Well, I understand, and I really appreciate it when a professional takes the time to do it right. This hobby is an addiction, at least it is for me, and it sounds like it's been a lifetime addiction for you by what you've got written down on your QRZ page. But I just wanted to jump in there and say hello to you and make sure you knew that at least one more person was going to come by that the YouTube page and go ahead and give you a day in court. Go ahead.
Roger that. Well, I just put up my sign. I have this little sign down towards the bottom that usually it says my group AIRCHECK and then the date when we're running the normal Qso-Vlog, but I have another one that says my pop-up AIRCHECK, and it sits, unfortunately it sits right in front of the receiver, but it helps for people to figure out exactly what's going on as far as thumbnails and stuff when they're looking for things, so I usually do it. And so I was working on the radio, and I had the sign off to the side, so I just put that back on there. And we are recording, but it's kind of a discombobulation of stuff, and more or less it was just for checking out the visual aspects of our metering system. Roger?
It's really appreciated. I find myself watching more and more videos on ham radio and guys that videos on ham radio and guys that take it seriously. So I'll be happy, like I said, to stop by your channel and give it a look. And maybe you got a fan in the making here.
Roger. Now, I also have been running SDR monitoring of the Rochester, New York SDR, and I just switched over to that, and you're sounding really gangbusters in the Rochester, New York SDR. Roger?
Sounding really gangbusters in the Rochester, New York SDR. Roger? It's funny. It's almost Mother Nature. It's a little 100-watt station with an old D104. I've got a couple of different mics, a Shure 51 and a 55S. But for distance, this little D104 does it. You got to be careful, though. It'll run hot in just a second if you're not careful.
Roger that. Well, that microphone does have quite a bit of audio discoloration in the upper side. It's just the nature of the element in that D104, and it's like I say, it is a discoloration. It's not a frequency-related thing. It's just a discoloration of the upper audio spectrum, and you find that you can do your DX stuff better, or contest stuff better that way.
Well, it seems to help. I mean, you can always hear a higher pitched signal a little bit easier, even when it's way down in the voice. It seems to cut out of that low end. So if I'm 100 watts trying to talk to Antarctica, say, and I've made that contact before, it seems to help. It's not a good brag chewing mic, but
Oh, I'm sorry. We're getting some malicious interference from some idiot. It never fails, you know. Unfortunately, this hobby has got its share of idiots, and they seem to not be able to communicate within their own realm, and they can't stand somebody else communicating and doing something they can't because they're not intelligent enough to conduct a conversation logically. So that all they can do is be reduced to noises, and that's really unfortunate.
Well, it's just, yeah, you're right, it's the way it goes. A lot of 11-meter guys are picking up handbricks. But I'll bid you 7 threes, and I'll get by your YouTube channel. I think you got a couple other callers in there, so I wish you the best. Glad to talk to you in a 73 again. Whiskey 8, Julia Bravo Mike, I'll be clear your final.
Roger, Jim. Well, if you get a chance, drop by, Friday afternoons, 3:30 to 5 on this frequency, and we'll say hello and see what you've been up to. Thanks for the Qso, sir. Enjoyed it. Always, intelligence is so nice to find, whereas, there are other things waiting in the wings to disrupt intelligent communications, because, like I say, they don't have the ability to do it themselves. So all they can do is make mouth noises. Unfortunate, but true. This is KC9VKV.
Kilo Charlie 3, Kilo Papa Juliet.
Papa Juliet station, come back with a call sign again.
Well, which is 4? Kilo Charlie 3, Kilo Papa Juliet.
Papa Juliet. Roger, what's the name there, Papa Juliet?
Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Echo, Quebec.
Pennsylvania.
Gosh, I think we're all the way up into Canada there. I'm not real sure. Is there a Canadian station in there?
Roy Royers, Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Echo, Quebec. And the name is Christian, over.
Yes, sir. Where are you in Canada?
In Toronto, downtown Toronto, over.
Down in Toronto. Roger. Well, listen, our mantra is we're 20 over from Montreal to Miami and from New York to New Mexico. Now, my question to you, being in Toronto, is have you ever heard anybody coming out of Montreal?
Well, I have a good friend from Montreal. My friend David, over.
Roger. And did he actually transmit? I have never heard anybody out of Montreal. I've heard, quite a few folks out of Toronto and up around that area, but I've never heard anybody coming out of Montreal.
Well, I have talked to Montreal, but my friend David, he's from Montreal. He's a native of Montreal, but he lives in Toronto now. And as a matter of fact, he's an amateur radio operator for 60 years now, over.
Oh, Roger. Well, listen, tell him if he's in Montreal, ask him if he would join us. I have a Qso-Vlog program on Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 5 on this frequency, 7189. And if he could join us on Friday afternoons between 3:30 and 5 Eastern, I really would appreciate it, because we just have to verify that indeed we are 20 over from Montreal to Miami and New York to New Mexico. Roger.
Roy, yes, I will tell him in a few minutes. I'm going to phone him. And so Friday from 3:30 to 5, over.
That's a Roger. 3:30 till 5 Eastern Time. Roger.
Roy, yeah. We are Easter here in Toronto. I think Montreal is Eastern. Yeah, we're all Easter here, over.
Roger. And come back, sir, with your call sign again.
Roy, this is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Echo, Quebec. Oh, back to you.
Roger. And your name, sir?
My name is Christian. What's your name again on QTH, over?
Roger. This is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike, and we're located just on the, towards Louisville, Kentucky, just on the other side of the Ohio River, right at Louisville, Kentucky. Roger?
Roy, Kentucky, yes, of course, Kentucky, yes. Well, you say your name is, can you say your name? Not to spell it, but to say it, over.
Roger, the name is Jim, Juliet, India, Mike. Roger.
Roger, Jim, fine business. The Friday. David, right away. David's out. What kind of thing is it? VA3. Yeah. Over.
Roger, Roger, sir. We have the man that is in the ability to communicate within himself logically, and all he can make is mouth noises. But I do have a prayer for him. He must be mentally ill, because nobody in their right mind would be reduced to making mouth noises instead of being able to conduct intelligent conversations. So my prayer for the mentally ill: Lord, I confess that I've judged those who struggle with mental illness. I have judged because I do not understand, so you must forgive me, Lord, for making assumptions. Forgive me for my indifferences and my mercy. Comfort and relieve those who are troubled in mind and spirit. Bring them hope, peace, and the consolation of a loving community. Oh. It's my prayer for the mentally ill.
Well, Jim, David is okay. He's a nice man. Over.
Well, it's just unfortunate. See, his mother never taught him good manners.
Oh, I see. Well, I think he graduated from McGill University, over.
Roger, Roger. Well, listen, let me say threes up that way. I've appreciated the QSO, sir. And like I say, if you get a chance, get a hold of that guy in Montreal and ask him if he would join us on the Qso-Vlog on Friday afternoons, 3:30 to 5. Roger.
Fine business, Jim. Well, nice chatting with you. When I move along here, and are you usually on this frequency at this time, over?
No, we're just kind of working on some studio stuff and just checking out under actual battle conditions how the equipment's going to work. We just put in a spectrum analyzer in the studio last week, and now we're putting in an LED VU meter reading machine that we can have on our camera, so you can actually see the audio levels of the incoming and the outgoing. Roger, Roger.
Roger. Well, George 20 over here in Toronto. What's my signal report near Kentucky, over?
Roger, Roger. Well, we don't have the receiver set up normally because we have running a reduced RF level, so we don't get up into AGC compression so we can get the cleanest audio recording possible. But I'm looking at your signal, your audio, on a VU meter from the radio output, and I've got your volume level adjusted for 0 level on the VU meter. So, and then when you stop speaking, the meter then falls back down and reads the noise level. So you are 12 dB above my residual noise level. Roger.
Roy. So 12 dB, is that in addition to the noise level, over?
No, you're 12 dB above the residual noise level. 12 dB hotter than my residual noise level. It comes close to being like 12 dB over, like a normal S radio reading.
Fine business, Jim. Well, nice chatting with you again, and we'll move along, starting the week on the right track. So, semi-final, which is a good day, and from PA332, 73.
Roger, Roger. Been a pleasure on this end. 3 Zetterways, sir. You have a real good day. Like I say, you have a booming signal in here. 12 dB over the residual noise level is like a 12 over, in a S meter reading. It's really close to that. It's just a very, very good signal, sir. So 3s to you. Have a good afternoon. And this is KC9VKV, and we will be concluding our transmissions for this morning on the audio testing and the studio video aspects, and we'll see everybody, if not sooner. We'll see you for sure Friday afternoons 3:30 till 5 Eastern on this frequency 7189. KC9VKV will be clear.
W4, in your way.
A W4 station, really quick.
W4, November, uniform alpha, and then first touch, Virginia, Interior Frank, 6.0 radio check.
Roger, sir. I'm copying you. You're 5 dB above my noise level. You are 5 dB above my noise level. Roger, Roger.
Roger, Roger. Well, you have a good day. I know you wanted to leave. So you have a good day. Just checking out my AHHH here. So you have a good day. Bye-bye.
Roger, Roger. 3 Zetterways, sir. Have a good afternoon. We'll catch you later. This is KC9VKV. We'll be clear.